Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. This is the review slash recap show of UFC 288. It is the morning after, so we are going to go over the entire fight card. We are going to start with the first fight of the night, work our way up as usual. I will try to go through some of the earlier fights quicker so that I can spend a good chunk of time on the co-main and main event. Before we get into it, please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, dude. Let's get right into it. First fight of the night, Joseph Holmes versus Claudio Ribeiro. I said that Ribeiro would get the job done by early KO. It was kind of early KO. It was like a mid-fight KO, but good performance by Ribeiro. Joseph Holmes was, as I said, shooting almost immediately. He did not really want to be on the feet with Claudio there, and yeah, just great performance by Claudio Ribeiro, which, dude, there were a ton of big bets placed, and I thought it was crazy that somebody would place such a large bet on Joseph Holmes in the very first fight of the night, a prelims fight, like early prelims fight, right? Like most big bets you see are on the more high profile guys. But to win by KO or submission, at least pick the correct finishing method, right? Like I highly doubt Joseph Holmes would knock out Claudio Ribeiro, but yeah, good performance by Claudio. Dude hits hard, man. Hits real hard. Like he hurt Joseph Holmes, and the way that Holmes fell was not ideal. But great performance by Ribeiro. Next fight, Phil Hawes versus ALISKEROV, dude. Ikram is legit. That was phenomenal. Phil Hawes came out and looked like he was going to be problems for ALISKEROV, and he was beautiful kicks, straight punches. He looked pretty crisp, pretty sharp. It didn't matter. Ikram, I think he hurt him with that head kick initially. It looked like it didn't really land, but it must have a little bit, because he got Phil Hawes kind of froze in time for a second there, and then once ALISKEROV got back to his feet, that one punch, jeez, man, he slept that boy. And I appreciate that he knew he was out, and he kind of just stepped back. Like, no need for follow-up shots. That was a perfect, clean walk-off KO from ALISKEROV. And as somebody in my comments mentioned, you know, he broke the dream curse. So great performance by him. I'm very excited to see what he can do moving forward, actually, because that was a phenomenal performance by ALISKEROV. And Phil Hawes looked good. It wasn't like he was fighting some old washed-up bum. Like, Phil Hawes looked like he had made improvements, if we're being honest. He looked very good on the feet, and it just did not matter. Pardon me. Next fight of the night, Braxton Smith versus Parker Porter. Dude, Parker Porter is the GOAT still to this day. Him and Artem Lobov, choo-choo, motherfuckers. That was phenomenal. I was... First of all, Braxton Smith looks as though he may have had to get off some juice or something, because some of the pictures I've seen of him, like on Tapology and stuff like that, he is way more fucking shredded in those photos than he was last night. Okay, so that's on me for not doing further research, I guess, but he looked bigger and jacked in some of the pictures that I've seen, and then in last night he looked like a morbidly obese man who figured he's got to get him out of there immediately. And to be fair, I said if it wasn't a first-round finish, we were probably going to have a long, boring, drawn-out fight. Braxton Smith immediately, though, the way that he started punching and trying to get Parker Porter out of there, I thought, fuck me, dude, this guy is going to gas out. There's no way he can keep up this pace. There's just a certain, like, it's not even necessarily that you have to throw hard, like, and I'm going to think that. It's a way that he's throwing hard. He was overextending himself, putting absolutely everything into those shots, like winging his whole body into them. The technique was not phenomenal. I was a little disappointed in Braxton Smith there. That head kick did remind me very much so of a Derek Lewis head kick. It was, so, you know, the guy that he caught with that in his earlier career, I guess, was probably just not the best, because that was extremely telegraphed. It was... man, not great, but good performance by Parker Porter, man. It was crazy, because I think, what did he hit him with, a knee to the body in the clinch, and Braxton Smith kind of just like fucking collapsed and didn't know what to do after that, and was just like a useless sack of fucking shit. But good for Parker Porter, man. Jesus, the guy's still doing the damn thing, okay? Next fight, Marina Rodriguez versus Virna Jandiroba. I said that, well, first of all, I picked Marina Rodriguez to win this fight. I thought she was going to be able to piece up Virna Jandiroba on the feet, which that part was, that was correct. But I also said that if Jandiroba were to get her to the mat, it would be issues, because Marina Rodriguez doesn't necessarily have the best ground game, and Virna Jandiroba is very good on the ground. But I just said that I thought she would have to walk through too much in order to get those takedowns. Now, they came a little bit easier than I expected them to, and she got a ton of control time. She didn't do a whole lot of damage. There wasn't really any submission attempts, or maybe one or two, like, kinda. But Marina Rodriguez just couldn't get back to her feet. And it was kind of like once she got her down, that round was over. And credit to Jandiroba, man, because Marina Rodriguez grabbed that fence a ton. And it was very frustrating to me, dude. The referees... First of all, that short ref, well, there was a few short refs. The short ref with the blonde spiky hair, he looks like a fat Jesse on fire. That guy is the most fucking New Jersey I have ever seen ever. That guy, they pulled him out of Jersey Shore Midgets Edition, and they said, hey, do you want to ref MMA fights? And he said, sure, dude, I will. He's big jack, dude, looks like he's on steroids, for sure. But... that guy's he's not that good of a ref. And there was a few other ones who I was like, Jesus Christ, man, I get that the local, like, the commissions want to use local guys sometimes for the big shows and stuff like this, but I feel like it's just too dangerous to be doing that. You gotta have guys that are, like, vetted, and I know that guy has definitely reffed in the UFC before, but he's just not very good. And there were a ton of fence grabs I saw, not just in this fight. Clash of heads. They don't do a fucking thing about them, and it drives me mental, dude. Sorry, I had a hiccup there. Something absolutely mental. There's no way they're not seeing these. They have the best seats in the house. They are, like, within a few feet from the action, no cage obstructing their vision, and somehow they can't see when two guys clash heads, or that, you know, the Marina Rodriguez was grabbing the fence and the guy was just kind of slapping her hand. It's like, no, bro, put her on the mat. She should have gotten taken down. But credit to Jandiroba, she was able to, you know, keep going, get her down, control the action. That the end of the fight seemed a little bit iffy for Jandiroba. Marina Rodriguez was hitting her with those up kicks, and she, like, consistently got her. And I thought, like, why doesn't Jandiroba just disengage? Like, she's won the first two rounds pretty handedly. You know what I mean? Just get out of there and not get hit with up kicks. But anyways, dude, next fight, Chaos Williams versus Rolando Bedoya. This was a good fight. I picked Chaos Williams to win. I thought he would finish the guy, I think, but I can't remember exactly what I said. I would have to go back and, like, read the transcript or something. But man, this is so sad for me to say. I cannot wait until Joe Rogan retires from commentating UFC. He is fucking horrible, dude. Horrible. I know there's been a ton of people who have been on this for, like, a long time, but to me, I was, like, a pretty big fan of Joe Rogan's podcast for quite a while. He started to get a little annoying to me. It was just, like, very repetitive and not as many ultra, like, interesting guests. Just fucking C-tier fucking comedians, and that's being charitable, in my opinion. But they would not shut the fuck up about Bedoya's calf kicks, and I'm like, okay, dude, like, I get it, but what Chaos Williams was cracking him, like, the whole first two rounds, or what, like, it was a close fight, and people were acting as though this was a robbery. I didn't think this was a robbery, and one of the judges scored it 30-27 for Rolando Bedoya, which I thought was insane, but maybe I'm off here. I don't know. I heard the 29-28 for Chaos Williams, and I said that's an acceptable scorecard. And then I thought, because it was a split decision, if anything, we were going to be getting another 29-28 in the direction of Rolando Bedoya. But the one scorecard for Rolando Bedoya was 30-27, which I thought, no fucking way is that possible for any guy. But either way, good performance by both men. That's pretty impressive that was Bedoya's debut. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be he's going to be good moving forward, man. And he's got time to improve. He's a young guy. And yeah, good performance by him, definitely. Judges were a little, we're going to get to that later. But anyways, dude, Kennedy NZECHUKWU, I don't know, dude, versus Devin Clark. I picked NZECHUKWU. He fucking battered Devin Clark, my guy. I saw Devin Clark doing push-ups right before the fight started, and I thought, are you retarded, dude? You're a big muscled up dude. You're trying to get like you're trying to gas out your arms already, and I get that push-ups aren't like the most physically demanding or physically taxing exercise, but you're about to be fighting. You're a big muscled up guy. You need to use your muscles for grappling, essentially. That's how you would win this fight. And instead, he goes, no, I want to drop 50 right now, or 20, or whatever the fuck it was. I just thought that was stupid. But NZECHUKWU, that was a great performance, man. He's nasty in that clinch, and he is a tough body style to deal with, man. 6'5", 83-inch reach, big boy at light heavyweight. He looked good, man. There was a moment there where Devin Clark appeared to have hurt him, and I was getting near. I thought the ref was about to stop it from a standing TKO, because Kennedy NZECHUKWU was up against the fence covering up, and wasn't really landing back or anything like that. But Devin Clark was hitting arms for the vast majority of those, and I was like, don't stop it, don't. And then thankfully Kennedy was able to turn it around. Nasty elbows in the clinch, my guy. Those were beautiful. Next fight, okay. Drew Dober versus Matt Frevola, the steamroller Matt Frevola. Okay, I said I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Frevola won, and I almost picked him because I said Drew Dober is, to me, a meme stock. However, this might just be cope, okay? So chill. Don't fucking jump on me right away. I didn't like that stoppage, and let me explain. There are stoppages that happen where if they happened a second or two prior or a second or two after, they wouldn't be bad. But then there are stoppages where at the time that they stop them, it's just not correct. Like if you miss the initial one, don't then stop it. You know what I mean? Like there was a moment there where I think immediately when Drew got dropped and then Matt Frevola went to the ground and started landing follow-up shots, I thought the ref could have stopped it right there. But once Drew Dober has like turned himself onto his back and is starting to like defensively grapple and shit, why are you stopping it, man? You know what I mean? It's like the Dominic Cruz and the Henry Cejudo one too. If they would have stopped it almost immediately after that knee, Henry's landing shots while Dom is still on his hands and knees, fine. But then you stop it as he's getting up. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just a bad look. And I feel like Drew Dober is known for being tough, known for recovering, known for having wars, fighting back, getting the finish late. Like this is how he fights. And I was just really irritated with that stoppage only because it was Drew Dober. There's a lot of guys where I wouldn't fucking care because you don't want guys to take extra damage for no reason. But Drew Dober is like known for that and known for being able to take damage and then return it later on in the fight. Like that was a fun fight while it lasted. It was a good finish by Matt Frevola. I just thought that, again, if they had stopped it like 2 or 3 seconds earlier, no problem. And maybe if they had waited and Matt Frevola landed a few more big follow-up shots, no problem. But at the exact time that they did stop it, it seemed a little iffy to me. But it is what it is, dude. Next fight, Kron Gracie versus Charles Jourdain. My Canadian brother, okay? Finally somebody not letting me down. Kron Gracie is fucking awful. He has not worked at his striking whatsoever, which I don't understand why you would not. I think, I started thinking about this while I was watching that fight. I think that he like literally wanted to be like the next Royce Gracie or something. Like he thought that it was still possible to only know how to play jiu-jitsu and become like a somebody, which I just don't think is the case. Or like, you have to have more than that, man. That was horrible. When Charles Jourdain would throw a jab, 2, 3, like he would throw like a 3-4 punch combination, Kron Gracie froze multiple times. No head movement, no nothing. Guard stayed still too. So he would just like leave it here. Charles Jourdain would split the guard twice, come around with a hook body shot. Kron Gracie wouldn't fucking move an inch. He would just eat it. And then he tried to pull guard multiple times. scooting on his butt trying to get out. It was horrible to watch, man. Crone Gracie needs to not fucking fight again. And if, like, you can't just be a jiu-jitsu guy, especially when I get that he's known, like, obviously he's a phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioner, but I don't think he's, I don't know, man. Charles Jourdain seemed fine on the ground. And credit to Charles Jourdain, dude. He was smart. When Crone would pull guard, Charles would put his hands kind of just like here. So he's blocking from punches and shit like that. And he's not letting his hands touch the mat so that Crone Gracie can't try and set up like an arm bar or a triangle or something like that. And Charles Jourdain just dealt with him. It was a very good performance by Charles Jourdain. I would have liked to see if he could get the finish, but I understand not wanting to overextend yourself on a guy like Crone. Like, why give him an opportunity when you don't need to? And we saw in the Cub Swanson fight that he is extremely tough. How shitty is Cub Swanson? I know at one point in time that guy was phenomenal, but holy shit, dude. Like, Crone was landing some shit on Cub, and he didn't really land a whole lot on Charles Jourdain. So good performance by Charles Jourdain, my Canadian brother. Finally somebody looking good, aside from like Jillian Robertson or some shit. But either way, dude, next fight. Movsar Evloev versus Diego Lopes. Pardon me. When the line closed, Movsar Evloev was a minus 900. This is why when people will ask me, like, lock of the card, what picks I'm most confident in, I don't even bother. Because I don't think anything's a fucking lock. The Brazilian Justin Bieber looked pretty good. It was irritating me that he kept fixing his hair to that same position. Like, it doesn't look that good, my guy, but either way, dude. There's probably people that don't like the way my hair looks, but when he was about to step into the cage and the ref's doing like the fucking pat down and shit like that, his hair got messed up and he had to do the flick that we used to see like 13-year-old boys doing in the early 2000s, you know what I mean? So that was a little strange, but he was having success on the feet, especially early on. There were a few moments where Evloev was in some serious danger in terms of submission. And what this made me interested in actually was the Bryce Mitchell fight. Like, now seeing the way, and maybe it was just the opponent change, not being able to train for Diego Lopes specifically. I feel like some of those submissions, if they were locked in from a guy like Bryce Mitchell, like, I don't know that you're getting away. I don't know. It made me really interested. First of all, Bryce Mitchell's a big featherweight. And there was just, Movsar Evloev put himself in multiple dangerous situations where he then had to pull out. So, good on Diego Lopes, man. I said this in my prediction video, like, credit to him for stepping up. This is a tough fight to take on 5 days' notice, and I hope that they give him another chance against somebody more, I guess, like, in line with his level. Because that was a good performance, man. He lost, but it was a good showing of himself, especially against a guy like Movsar Evloev, and especially on 5 days' notice. Okay, so I appreciated that. That was a good fight. Movsar is gonna have to work on some shit. I mean, his defense was pretty sound. Like, he didn't panic. He knew that armbar wasn't the elbow wasn't past the hips, so there was no real leverage for him to like have his arm broken or something. And the knee bar at the end, had Diego Lopes kind of rolled onto his belly, he would have been able to get more leverage, but he wasn't. He was kind of like quartered on his side, I guess. So, good fight. Good performance by both guys, but Evloev gets the win, obviously. Next fight, Jessica Andrade versus XIAONAN. Some guy bet $150K on Jessica Andrade. Dude, I picked her to win. I will never fucking do... Dude, you know what this shows me? How shit the rest of the women's fucking strawweight is. Or flyweight. Or all of them. Okay? Caitlin Chookagian, not good. Lauren Murphy, fucking horrible. So many of these girls Our garbaggio. Okay, and now, to be fair, she moved from flyweight to strawweight. I don't know why that was. Maybe she felt like she was too small for flyweight. Again, she's been like hopping weight classes her entire career. She can never really seem to find a place where she is comfortable, I guess. She's fought at bantamweight, flyweight, and strawweight. She fucking sucks, dude. Her punches are horrible. But it's just like, and I knew that, right, when I picked this. But they're effective at times. And she hurts chicks. You can't just continue on like that when it starts to stop working. Like, she's just literally winging shit like that. It was horrible. And she got fucking starched, which was crazy to see, but great performance by XIAONAN. I was very impressed. I was also surprised. And Jessica Andrade needs to like fucking retire or figure out how to throw straight punches, or at the very least figure out how to set up those punches. You can't just be winging them like that, running forward with your chin out in the air. Like, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? And I know that I picked her, and I know that we've seen her do this many of times, but as I said, like, it's been effective. On a number of occasions, we've seen her be effective against a ton of girls. You know, she's lost a lot, but again, she's been all over the place in weight classes. At 135, she's fighting girls way bigger than her. Even 125. She just needs to fucking slim down, or like I don't know, lose some muscle mass, which would kind of destroy her whole game though, because she's supposed to be like a powerful lady. You know what I mean? But great performance by XIAONAN. That surprised me, man. Okay, next fight, dude. Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. There were so many underdog. Actually, I can't remember what they closed as. So many underdogs on this card. Matt Frevola. They don't have Chaos Williams. Jandiroba. Fuck, why don't they have odds for like anybody? Either way, dude. Gilbert Burns versus, or Belal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns. Okay. This was a decent fight. It was okay. Dude, okay. Yes, his striking looked fine. Belal Muhammad, his striking looked fine. And something that I will give him credit for, actually, is, I've talked about this a few times. If you are not able to knock somebody out with your hands, or you do not, like, naturally have knockout power, it is a very good idea to invest in a kicking game. And that seems to be what Belal Muhammad has done, because there are, like, everybody has power with their kicks. Everybody, your legs are huge. And if you can throw with the proper technique and shit like this and work on doing it over and over again, it'll get faster. It'll get a little more pop on it. Like, you can be powerful with your legs if you are not powerful with your hands. And it seems that Belal Muhammad has kind of taken that approach. He was throwing a lot of body kicks, threw a couple head kicks, some leg kicks. Seemed to be all from the southpaw stance, which is fine. Like, that's good. He switches stances a lot, which I thought was kind of weird at first, because he wasn't giving Gilbert a whole ton of looks. He was just switching stances. And I was like, okay, dude, are you going to like pump shit with one and then like do this and do that and whatever? But it seems that he just has a few attacks that he likes to throw from southpaw, and then a few that he likes to throw from orthodox, which is fine. His striking looked fine, dude. It didn't overly impress me. Like, I get it that I was making fun of him, saying that he threw punches like Juliana Pena and shit like this. But what bugged me about this fight was Gilbert Burns was essentially like, I can't remember what round it was in, but he was trying to let Belal know that his shoulder was fucked, or at least I thought so anyways. And I started thinking to myself, like, he's trying to like tell Belal, throw shit to this side. He literally, at one point, he tried to throw a hook, and then he went like this, and then like kind of shook out his arm, while him and Belal were looking right at each other. And I thought, he's trying to like tell him this side, because then we can get the fuck out of here. And then I'm not saying that this is like 100% what it was. I'm not trying to fucking say that Gilbert Burns was trying to quit or anything like that. But when you're like giving that much to your opponent, like literally going like this, shaking your arm out and shit like that, it looks a little, it doesn't look that good. But that was unfortunate, man. That was unfortunate. He fucked his shoulder up, or his bicep, or whatever it was. I don't know what the injury was. I haven't had a chance to listen to the post-fight press conference, but that was unfortunate, dude. And he's throwing one punch over and over and over again. And I get that he can still hurt you. But Bilal Muhammad didn't really pick up the pace and try to finish, which fucking whatever, dude. But it's like, if you're gonna, do it against a guy that's fucking injured. You get me? He's not throwing his left hook. That's a big punch of his. I know that he hurts a lot of guys with the right hand, but like, when you're going into the pocket, now all you need to do is avoid that right hand once. And then he's going to have to like pull it back, reset to throw it again. Like, it's going to be easier for you to avoid. Now, Bilal Muhammad, as I said, his kicks look pretty good. Not pretty. They look good. They were harder for sure, faster than they used to be. And a huge part of Bilal Muhammad's game, in my opinion, is not just that he has a good chin. It's the fucking poker face that comes with it. There was a moment in this fight, I don't remember what round it was. I haven't watched anything back. Where Gilbert Burns hit him with a head kick. And it was loud. And it got past the... Bilal Muhammad tried to block it with one hand. And, fuck, it was loud. And I thought, don't let him off the hook with that one. You know what I mean? And he did, because Bilal Muhammad, credit to him, has one of the best poker faces ever. And you couldn't tell that it had actually hurt him. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that it did. But he was immediately straight-faced after. And, yeah, he looked good, man. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna overly praise him because I don't think he looked phenomenal. He definitely looked very good. And I'm giving him credit because Gilbert Burns was, in my opinion, his best win yet. It's just unfortunate that Burns clearly had an injury. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not like... He's not like Herbert Burns. He's not quitting because he's tired. He literally wasn't throwing that left hand at all, which is very unfortunate, man. And it's unfortunate for Bilal too, because, you know, there's just certain guys that, much like the main event, dude, somehow you're gonna get discredited in your victory, and it just seems to be bad luck on the side of Bilal and certain other guys. Some guy immediately came into the comment section of my video where I was saying fucking Bilal Muhammad better make weight because I know that he can, because all he's doing is intermittent fasting and all this shit, and said, all your questions have been answered. Do you respect him now? I respected him before. I respect him more now, but you fucking idiot. He proved everything I said right. All he did was intermittent fast. They kept bringing it up. It had been like fucking 3 weeks since then, dude. People are acting like it's gonna take him like months to recover from fucking Ramadan when dudes recover in 24 hours from a brutal weight cut. No, he's fine, because he was intermittent fasting for a month. And credit to him, he took the opportunity, didn't fucking not do it because they wouldn't make it at a catch weight, which is what he tried to do, because he wanted to be bigger than him, but it didn't matter. He did it anyways, and I was right. He looked fine. So, enough of this fucking not fighting a month before and a month after Ramadan shit. You motherfuckers better fight, eh? How about it? Now, yeah, credit to Bilal Muhammad, man. Good win. Good win. His striking did look better, obviously. And I said this in a live stream, too, so I don't know how many people saw it. But I was joking when I said he looked like Juliana Pena. But then I said, oh, but he does, though. You know what I mean? It's hyperbole. But his punches did look a little sharper. His punches are not fast and sharp and powerful. So that's why it's very impressive to me that he has invested in a heavy kicking game. Because a lot of guys don't realize that. And they think that one day they're just going to start getting knockouts or something. It's like, motherfucker, we could all knock people out with kicks. Like, you ain't eating a clean head kick, even if it's coming from somebody who's not that powerful. So, good on Bilal Muhammad for getting much better at his kicking game. His body kicks were hard. He needs to work on the angle a little bit because a lot of them were kind of coming in up here. I want to see them more like going up, right under the ribs. That's where you want it. You know what I mean? But they were looking nice, quick, powerful, poppy, or snappy. And yeah, man, it's too bad for Gilbert Burns because he just did the UFC quite a few favors in the last few months and ended up with an injury because of it, I guess, and now is back of the line essentially because welterweight is such a clusterfuck. All right, dude, main event time, next fight: Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. All right, dude, I'm gonna say it. All of you are gonna say I'm coping because I picked Henry to win, but I picked Henry to win because I thought he was gonna win. I didn't pick him to win because I like him and his personality, or because I hate Aljamain Sterling. You know what I mean? I thought that Henry Cejudo won rounds 2, 3, and 5. And I'm going to show you the scorecards in a second. But the problem that I have with this is, if you would have scored this fight 1, 3, and 4 for Aljamain Sterling, for me, round 3 is the toss-up because there was no takedowns. Or maybe there was one takedown on each side. And Henry was landing bigger shots and cleaner shots on the feet, in my opinion, but Aljamain Sterling was landing more volume. And if you were paying attention to the striking statistics on the TV, live, whoever was doing that needs to be fucking fired because they were not even close. They said Henry Cejudo had landed like 4 strikes in round 1, 6 in round 3. This is objectively not true. And I thought Cejudo was landing the cleaner shit. So I thought that either way, 2, 3, and 5 for Cejudo, or 1, 3, and 4 for Cejudo. Round 2's clear. I've seen some people talk about how round 2's the swing one. I think round 2's clear for Cejudo. That's just my opinion, though. The problem I have with it is not that Aljamain got the decision. The problem I have with it is how he did. Uno momento. Look at this shit, bro. So, Derek clearly here gave round 5 to Aljamain Sterling, which in my opinion is like the clearest round of the entire fight. But he did give 2 and 3 to Cejudo like I did. So how could you not give him round 5? If you gave him round 2, which was closer than round 5, and you gave him round 3, which was closer than round 5, how the fuck did you give Aljamain Sterling round 5? And then the other guy that scored it for Aljamain Sterling gave him round 2, but Cejudo round 3, which I thought was weird because I think that round 3 is closer. This is the problem I have with it. Not that Aljamain Sterling won or got the decision, but that the rounds that they gave him. I hate that shit, man. There's no world in which he wins round 5. There's just no world. It's impossible. So, I mean, Jesus Christ. But something that I had noticed about Henry Cejudo. See, in round 2, dude, Cejudo was up on total strikes and significant strikes, and they each went 0 of 2 for takedowns. So, whatever, dude. And then round 3, Aljo outlanded him a bit by significant strikes, and they each had a takedown. But Aljo went 1 of 6, and Henry went 1 of 1. Okay. Something that I noticed, I don't know if anybody watched One Championship over the weekend, but I was on Friday. Mighty Mouse has been training a lot with Henry Cejudo. Mighty Mouse has his hands like this, always, and he's very upright. Like, he stands very upright. And it might be because he's shorter, and he doesn't want to make himself shorter to his opponents that are like half a foot taller than him. Cejudo, typically, legs wide, bouncy, a little bit lower, karate shit, pawn with the lead hand. He seemed to have he seems to have taken away a little bit, like, from Demetrius Johnson's game, where his hands were very close to his body, as opposed to being like out like this, very close to his body. His legs were very close together, standing completely straight, which, like, that works for Mighty Mouse, but I don't think that works for your game. I don't think it translates. Cejudo's got big back leg kicks. You want to be more wide. If you want to be throwing hard, fast, snappy kicks like that. That stance that he was in before was perfect. Wide legs out like this. You can, I don't know. He seemed to have been like more Mighty Mouse style, straight up, hands real close like this. And I don't think that it really translates for him. Another thing was he didn't throw as many head kicks as I said he should, and he didn't follow it up with anything either, which was annoying to me because I can remember 3 instances early on in the fight in which he threw a head kick, and he partially landed 2 of them, and the other one, like, fucking toes just like skimmed Aljo's face. And I was thinking, why the fuck are you not going back to that or following it up? As we went over in that video, they both, if I'm being brutally honest, man, I was underwhelmed by both of them. I didn't think that was like a good performance by either guy. CEJUDO was able to get out of positions when Aljamain would get him down. CEJUDO was more accurate with his takedown attempts also. And Aljamain never really got his back. He got his back in a few instances, but he didn't like take it. Like, he didn't get his hooks in, right? He would get one in, and CEJUDO would fucking rip it out with his hand, which was smart. And CEJUDO seemed to be a little bit better in the scrambling. Aljamain Sterling, dude, they need to change the rules for him. You need to be able to knee grounded opponents. I'm fucking sick of that shit, dude. It is so cringe. The way that he just like flops back down to the ground like that. Bitch shit, bro. Come on. He's like worked his game around that. I fucking hate it, man. I hate it. I'm fine with Bilal Muhammad now. I still do not fucking like Aljamain Sterling. This guy's a cunt, dude. And it just wasn't that impressive. And he's talking about being GOAT status, eh? Bantamweight GOAT status. When you won your title because of a fucking DQ, and because one judge, for whatever reason, had you up on the scorecards at that point in time, and you win again, split decision, which actually I rewatched that fight the other day. It was way closer than I thought it was. I thought that Aljo won that fight the first time. When I rewatched it, I realized that one of those rounds where he had took Piotr Jan's back, it took him a bit to get there, and Jan landed quite a bit of damage before. So, very close, controversial decision. And then he beats a guy with one arm. And then a very close, controversial decision. I don't know how many of you guys are going to agree with me, but I thought CEJUDO could have easily gotten 3 rounds. And it sucks for the UFC, man. It sucks. Nobody fucking likes Aljamain Sterling, dude. He's not likable, and he's not that enjoyable to watch, man. That was not an impressive performance. I'm not impressed by your performance. That was not that good, dude. And from neither guy, though, honestly. I was a little disappointed in both guys. Henry CEJUDO striking did not look like it used to. He was not as dynamic. He was not as fast. He was not as explosive. And Joe Rogan needs to shut the fuck up about calf kicks, bro. I can't stand it. Henry CEJUDO checked so many of those kicks. Like, foot off the mat. And Joe Rogan wouldn't shut the fuck up about Aljamain Sterling landing calf kicks. And I get that it still hurts a bit when you check it. But he was checking them, which is like a blocked punch. He was blocking a lot of the body kicks too, man. Like, Aljo striking is sloppy. Henry was a little, he seemed like he wasn't as like quick, and his timing wasn't as on as it once was at one point in time. It sucks that Aljo won, man. The reason why it sucks, they're trying to rush him now into a fight with Sean O'Malley for August. Aljo's going to find a way to not do that, I would imagine. It's too soon after. Now, I think either of these guys get fucked up at featherweight, by the way. Or at least by Volkanovski. I don't think Aljamain Sterling will be able to be super competitive at featherweight, which is unfortunate for him because he's going to have to continue making that really harsh weight cut, which makes him very grumpy and bitchy. And, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, right. Sean O'Malley in August. Aljo was already trying to say September in the cage. And the UFC goes, nope, August. And I have a feeling he's going to find a way to say he can't fight that day, which is a fucking annoying, dude. Like, be active. If CEJUDO had won that, he would have been fighting in August, regardless. Doesn't matter. And the build-up would have been way more fun. Dude, Sean O'Malley fucking sucks at trash talking. He does. He's horrible. That was so cringe, that moment. It was... I was going, oh, shut up. Better look better than that, buddy. That's basically what he was saying. If any of you have seen that reel, better look better than that, buddy. Better look faster than that, buddy. Fucking. Okay, dude. Figure something else out to say. It's crazy that somebody who is not very good at trash talking publicly can be as popular as he is just because of social media. Because usually you have to be like a good trash talker or some shit. Now, his fight style's fan-friendly, for sure. I think Aljamain beats him, though, which is just unfortunate, man. Like, his striking is phenomenal. His leg kicks are phenomenal. But think about Henry Cejudo is like the only guy who's been taken down by Aljamain Sterling to not get controlled in the way that Aljamain Sterling does. Henry Cejudo is like the only guy who's been able to not let him on the back, not like and then get back up. And not just get back up, score more emphatic takedowns of his own than a guy much larger than him. I don't know that Sean O'Malley's going to be able to keep Aljo off of him. Now, maybe you can catch him with something coming in, but... And I'll tell you this much, too. Sean O'Malley's not going to be gun-shy. He's going to be ultra-confident in his abilities. He's going to come out there, start striking immediately. He's not going to let Aljo come and pressure him and be waiting to try and, like, you know, have the perfect moment or something. He is going to be continuously throwing shit, feinting nonstop, in my opinion anyways, but I think Aljo probably backpacks him and chokes him out, which is shitty, man. It's shitty. Fuck. Cejudo would have been better for the UFC if he won. I think that's, like, pretty objective. Nobody likes Aljamain, dude. I don't know if New York and New Jersey have, like, a rivalry or some shit, my guy. But if you're, like, from there, almost, and they're booing you that fucking hard, dude, you're doing something wrong. And he's not trying to play heel either. He doesn't like it. He looks upset when he gets booed, which is sad. But it is what it is, man. His championship career has been pretty sus, okay? There are going to be a ton of people that thought Cejudo won this fight. There are going to be a ton of people that thought Jan won the second fight. There's going to be a ton of people that thought he acted, which he fucking did, dude, in the first Jan fight to get the belt. And then you've got TJ Dillashaw in between there with one arm. So, fuck. God damn it. See, I'm mad about Aljo. I'm not mad about Bilal. Bilal looked good. And, whoops. After watching Bilal and Gilbert, I think Bilal is a better matchup for a guy like Colby or a guy like Leon even, maybe. Just, he's so durable, man. And whatever. And I was like, yeah, you know what? This will be fine. Moving forward, this is fine. It's not overly... it doesn't fuck the UFC's plans up that Gilbert Burns did not win. You know what I mean? I feel like this kind of fucked the UFC's plans up. Dana White looked a little upset, if I'm being honest. But that's it, man. I'm going to go watch the post-fight press conference and stuff like that now. I'm going to rewatch this fight so I can make a better, you know, definitive statement on who I think won. Thanks for watching, dude. See you in the next video. Like and subscribe, and bye-bye.